Hey guys, so we're at round 17 of Super Rugby. I think this is the second last round of the regular season, and then we're going to the knockouts. I think there's still a hell of a lot to play for in the next couple of games. I think there's the next weekend. A lot of the teams, if they don't win this weekend, that's it. Their competition's over. I'm trying to think of a few teams would be probably the Waratahs. Chiefs, Highlanders, and Blues. It could be quite difficult for them to bounce back if they don't win. And I'm probably also looking at the Bulls, Sharks, and the Stormers. I think those are also the teams that they're gonna battle if they don't pull out wins. So as you can see, there's lots of permutations for this coming week. Lots of things could happen. So I know I said at the beginning of the season I was going to actually start doing my predictions based on what I think is going to happen, but I've decided this week I'm going to do it what I hope is going to happen. And as you all know, that big South African supporter, so I'm going to go with a lot of the South African sides. So first game of the weekend, we've got the Highlanders versus the Blues. I think Liam Squire's back. Bulls have actually pulled back Andre Pollard, which I'm not very happy about. Not from a Bulls point of view. From a Bulls point of view, I'm very happy that he's back. But the guy was nursing an injury, and he is our number one first five for South Africa. And if he gets injured in this game, I'll be seriously angry with Puta Hemon and whoever selected him to play, because we cannot lose a number 10. 4 months out from the World Cup, or three and a bit months out from the World Cup. So I've put the Bulls to win by 6. I think it's going to be it's a hard ask. It really is a hard ask. Last week, the draw against the Blues really kept them in the game. Even if they lost, the Bulls lost. As long as they lose within 7 points and they get that losing bonus point, I think it might just give them enough. They would have come back with 35 points. They got their last game against the Lions, and yet it really could change their season quite drastically. Highlanders exactly the same. It's a must-win game for the Highlanders, so it's a must-win game for both sides. So I'm expecting a super physical battle, but I've put the Bulls to win by 6. Next game of the weekend, we've got the Reds versus the Blues. I've got the Blues to win by 9. Same thing with the Blues. The Blues have to win. If they win, it'll push them up to 32 points, 33 points if it's a bonus win. And they really do need that to be able to qualify for the 8th spot or 7th spot in the rounds. It'll just give them one last chance in the last round. Actually, I don't know who they play in the last round. It's the Crusaders, I think, or one of the bigger sides. So it's going to be tough. But I think I've put the Blues by 9. I haven't been very impressed with the Reds. I think they're still a side that's building, but they're not there yet. I reckon if they can keep their players, the same group of players next year, I think they should easily make the playoffs. And if they carry on like this, then I'm sure they'll be one of the top teams going forward if they can keep their current group of players. Next game, we've got the Crusaders versus the Rebels. Look, let's be honest. I think all the money would be on the Crusaders to win this game. But it's also, I have a feeling it's also a must-win game for the Rebels. The Rebels have to win this game, and it's going to be seriously hard to win in Christchurch. I don't see it happening. I've actually put the Crusaders to win by 16 points. I think it's after last week's showing against the Chiefs, I think the Crusaders are literally going to be out for blood. And I just don't think Guinea and Quade Cooper are going to be out. I'm sure they're going to be targeted big time by the Crusaders, and I just don't see it. I find that the Rebels are a much better side when they have a bit of forward dominance, but they don't have the kind of pack to go up against the Crusaders. So I'm still expecting a good battle, but I think the Rebels will stay in it until the 60th minute, and then the Crusaders are just going to put down the hammer. Next game of the weekend, which I think could be a really good derby, is the Waratahs versus the Brumbies. It's a must-win game for the Waratahs. They actually have to win that game to keep their season at least alive. They'll be on 34, 35 points. They can make it into the playoffs. Plus, playing at home, I've put the Waratahs to win by 5. But that Brumbies side is a seriously well-structured side. They do everything really well. So it's going to be fairly different styles of play. But I think the Waratahs are starting to really get through the Israel Folau, and they're starting to figure out how to actually play the game without him. But I saw an interesting show about the loss of Israel Folau. And with Israel Folau, it's probably about 6 or 7 bonus points that they've lost, because he's always guaranteed to basically get a try, and those big games that they would have lost within the 7 points, and picked up the bonus points, and bonus points would have changed their whole season. So yeah, must-win game for the Waratahs. Next game we got the Lions versus the Hurricanes. I've put the Lions to win by 9. I think this is gonna be an epic battle. I'm really starting to like the Lions front row. I think they're really good with Carly Sardi. I can't remember the other prop, with Malcolm Marks. The Hurricanes showed last week that they can be very physical, and they were very physical with the Sharks. But the Sharks only have one plan, and that's to be physical. They don't really have the game management to be able to play a physical game and still have a plan B, whereas I think the Lions do have a plan B, and I think when the Lions get it right, they're extremely hard to beat. At altitude, I think the Hurricanes should have been training there for quite a while. I just have a good feeling about the Lions. They've been here before, they know what to do, and it's a must-win game for them. But I just have a feeling that the Lions could pull off the victory there. Next game, we got the Stormers versus the Sunwolves. I put the Stormers to win by 15. I think the Sunwolves are just treading water to wait for the season to be finished. I think they're going to be completely decimated at the end of the season. But yeah, I don't see them coping in any way, shape or form. Even though the Stormers have a lot of injuries, I just don't see them pulling a victory off here. If they do, then that's the Stormers. It's their Stormers season absolutely finished. It's a must-win game for them, and they have to get a bonus point win to get 35 points. They literally have to get a bonus point win. Last game of the weekend, we've got the Jaguares versus the Sharks. I've actually put the Jaguares to win by 6, even though I should be saying the Sharks to win, but I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Flying all the way to Buenos Aires and trying to beat the Jaguares on their home turf is just damn near impossible. I see the Jaguares probably getting a bonus point victory out of this. I'm not saying it's going to be a slaughter. That's why I've got the Jaguares by 6, but if there's any chance that they could actually get their 3 or more tries. But we'll see. And then that would, if the Hurricanes lose and the Jaguares win, the Hurricanes will leapfrog. The Jaguares will leapfrog the Hurricanes and be an actual second spot ahead of the Hurricanes. But let's be honest. At the moment, I'm just going to count the points here. So there's 53. If we took the Crusaders out of the equation, number 1, between 2, which is 44, and I think 34 is 8. I think it's 34 is 8. It's only 10 points. It's 2 games, which is the 2 games in hand. So it really is a much closer season than it ever has been before. But listen, guys, put down your comments down below of what games you're looking forward to. The game I'm looking forward to, Highlanders Bulls, I think is going to be very entertaining. I think the Waratahs Brumbies game is going to be a real derby. The Lions and the Lions versus the Hurricanes, I think that's also going to be a real tough game. Actually, the Highlanders versus the Sharks would also be entertaining. But I think the big game of the weekend, from a derby point of view, would be the Waratahs versus the Brumbies. I think it's a must-win game for the Waratahs, and I'll look forward to watching the Lions versus the Hurricanes. Listen, guys, I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Please put your scores down below. What do you think the scores are going to be? What games you're looking forward to the most? I'm super happy that we'll see Liam Squire again this week. We haven't seen him for a long time, and I'm sure he's the number 6 or number 7. I just hope he can pick up his form very, very quickly for the Rugby Championship, and that he's back to full strength for New Zealand. Listen, guys, I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.